Hello and welcome to another edition of your program on Catholic Television of Nigeria, Spotlight. Spotlight is a program where we discuss various issues that bring about development in our society. And today we are going to be beaming our searchlight on the banking sector. And we'll have a very special guest in his office. This time around we are doing it in his office. He is a philanthropist, he's a banker, a business leader. He is a devout Catholic, a Knight of St. Molumba. He is also a philanthropist and somebody who has paid his due in the real estate industry. I'm talking about no only other person but engineer Emmanuel Mbaka, the managing director and chief executive officer of Platinum Mortgage Bank. Sir, you're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yes, we start with our regular questions in the program. The banking sector and the mortgage sector, how has it been so far?
So far, so good. We all have to be optimistic. However, the turmoil, the economic turmoil has its impact on both sectors, the commercial banking sector and the mortgage subsector. However, we've managed to navigate up to this point.
Talking about navigating up to this point, we know the Nigerian society, mortgage is not something that everybody is usually familiar with. Most people are not familiar with it because they are not keen into it the way they should. What has been your success story so far, having been in this industry, and what are the lessons you've been able to learn?
Well, I think it's part of the reason why we had to continually educate our people on the need to participate in the mortgage banking sector to acquire their houses via mortgage opportunities that we provide as an institution. However, it is very clear that not much education, has been given to the people, so that they've not been able to embrace the mortgage culture. But our institution have tried over the period we have been in existence, the last 12 years and counting, to bring into the mortgage sector a good number of Nigerians. Over 20,000 subscribers have benefited in our various estates, using our various mortgage windows to acquire properties. However, I would say we have not really succeeded in getting to the peak of what is supposed to be, because a good number of persons still don't understand that they have access to mortgage in Nigeria.
Well, is there a trust deficit in this aspect? Why is it that Nigerians, because we know that there's a lot of gap in the housing sector, is there a trust deficit that makes Nigerians not to want to key into it, or is it the poverty factor in Nigeria that is affecting the whole situation?
Not exactly. I don't think there is a trust deficit. Neither is it anything to do with poverty. I think it's awareness. The awareness has not been created such that individuals can access mortgage in the country. Now, we as a mortgage bank, in our own little way, have advertised to Nigerians on some of our products, such as the fast track mortgage, which is a 48-hour mortgage process. If you apply for a mortgage facility from Platinum Mortgage Bank, and within 48 hours of meeting our criteria, you have a key to your home. I guess a good number of persons perhaps watching the program want to test the veracity of what I have said, go to Platinum Mortgage Bank branch across the country and test what I have just said. So, for as many that have come in, they have succeeded, and they have also collected keys to their houses, provided they have affordability, they have shown sustenance and continuity of ability to pay for the mortgage within the period. And therefore, the issue of trust is not there. The issue of financial incapacity is also not there. I think it's the issue of awareness. And over time, we at the Federal Mortgage Bank and the Mortgage Bankers Association of Nigeria have planned to engage in a campaign that will open up the mortgage subsector, because a whole lot is bottled in the mortgage sector. And that is perhaps one of the reasons why I'm also having this conversation with you.
Okay, now we are talking about this fast-track mortgage facility that your organization provides. Our viewers may be willing to know some of the criteria that they need to meet to be able to participate in this fast-track mortgage product that you offer. What are those criteria that they need to meet to be able to own a key to their house in 48 hours?
Okay, I think it's something that I will just give a brief notification. First, you have to be a Nigerian. 2, you have to be below age 60. You have to show source of income, continuous flow of income. And you also have to provide evidence to show if, in case you are contributing to the National Housing Fund, you have to show the evidence. Otherwise, these are the major criteria that any Nigerian has to show to Platinum Mortgage Bank to qualify to have access to the fast-track mortgage within 48 hours.
Okay, now when you look at the Nigerian subsector, especially the housing subsector of Nigerian economy, you will see that we have a lot of slums, houses that are not supposed to be inhabited by people because of the state of the house. Now you are a housing developer. Where is the place of affordability in this aspect? Because if you go to Abuja today, go around Abuja, you'll see that there are lots and lots of houses that are empty and people are not there because they couldn't afford it. How affordable are these houses?
Okay, we have categorized this housing in 2 forms. You have the low density, you have the middle density, you have the high density. You equally have the mass housing, you have the social housing. What we are particularly interested in Platinum Mortgage Bank is the social housing and the mass housing, which is where we play. And these mass housing are produced in such a way that it's a collaboration between the government and our institution, all in effort to reduce the prices of these houses. The general houses you see in Abuja all over are not within this limit of houses that our mortgage banks offer, because these are houses valued 200, 300, 400, sometimes go into billions. But the houses we are talking about have maximum value of over about 100 million. So by payment of equity of 30% or 20%, you have reduced the value. So the loan that will be granting to you from the Platinum Mortgage Bank will be the neighborhood of 50 to 80 million. That we know over a period of 20 to 30 years, you should be able to pay. Like we said, the age within which you come to assess the mortgage is also very important and vital. For example, if you are 30 years, you have another 30 years to get to age 60, which is the last limit. which means you can make a repayment in 30 years. And if you are 40 years, you have a window of 20 years to be able to make your mortgage repayment. This is how it's being computed. But above all, I think your ability to show your cash flow, sources of income, which is of course has to be steady within the period. Because the essence of giving this mortgage is not for the mortgage to fail, where we now recover the property. The essence of the mortgage is to create the middle class. And you and I know that this class is almost going into extinction.
Yeah, sure.
So it's part of our aim is to revive the middle class. And that's why you see majority of the people who come to us to access the mortgage loan are in that income bracket.
You are a developer, and then you've been into this industry for so long that you have all the experiences to also share with even the government of the day. How will the government, what do you think the government can do differently to bring down prices of building materials as a way of helping low-income earners to have their own houses?
Well, I think the government on its own side has tried as much as it could to lower cost. But you and I know there is a limit to which the government can also control some of those prices. For example, the cost of cement. If the government has an opportunity, there is no way cement can be costing as much as 9,000 naira, from about 1,000 naira. And this is the main ingredient in the production of houses. The other aspect are the imported items into the country. Of course, the government can give waivers in import duties. They can give waivers on withholding tax or VAT as a way of bringing down the cost of houses, lowering the building material cost. But beyond lowering the building material cost, you also have the cost of the land. You also have the cost of providing the infrastructures. So the government also come along those corridors. They provide land, reducing the cost of the housing. Sometimes the government also provide infrastructure, road, water, electricity, where the developer simply plant the units within the estate. So we have been having very useful conversation with government towards the best approach to lower cost of houses in the country.
Okay, thank you. We'll just take a short break. When we come back, we'll continue with the conversation. Dear viewers, the program is Spotlight on Catholic Television of Nigeria. Please don't go away. We'll be right back shortly. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, the program is Spotlight on Catholic Television of Nigeria, and today we are looking at the banking sector with an eminently qualified Nigerian to discuss this. Sir, before we went on break, we were talking about the cost of building materials, and you've been able to tell us what the government can do and the level at which they cannot go beyond. Now, we are going to shift the gear to another aspect, especially as it affects your faith. We know that the Catholic social teaching talks about the common good, and whatever it is we do is for the common good. How has this teaching been able to influence your leadership, both at the banking sector and even at the mortgage sector?
Of course, if we have to apply the principles of Catholicism, you will see that it will help to go a long way in building the trust you talked about. And then when you look through the entire strata of Platinum organization, we had implanted that knowledge and the faith of Catholicism all over. And that has also affected some of our products that we also have in the bank, with the view to including having an inclusion, with the Catholic faith.
Okay, that's a very good one. The Catholic Church is an institution that accommodates the poor. And then from your profile, you're a philanthropist. How have you been able to reach out to those who are at the brink of the society so far, and how has it been?
With respect to Platinum Mortgage Bank and its services, yes, we have over time tried not to migrate from the mortgage bank's subsector into regional banking because of our faith on helping the poor, the needy. The mortgage bank subsector is not predominantly very viable and profitable. This is where my faith has been tested and deployed. We at Platinum Mortgage Bank, from the board management, have agreed that as part of our services to humanity is to do what we are doing, notwithstanding that most of our contemporaries, in the mortgage subsector had all migrated into regional banking, but we are still here practicing our faith, helping the needy, the poor, making the middle class that went into extinction, bringing it back to life by providing one of the most needed, things of life, which is accommodation. So to that extent, our Catholic faith and religious faith has affected the way we do business in Platinum Mortgage Bank.
Somebody may say that this faith has it been able to affect profiteering, profit making? Has it affected in any way?
Oh, definitely. We have to prioritize the help to humanity and the profit to the organization. We weigh both in balance, and we try to strike a balance between the two. So we are not all profit, but also to serve humanity. So this is the face of Platinum Mortgage Bank, which.
Okay, I know that you have a relationship with the Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria. How smooth is that relationship now?
The story behind a relationship with the Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria dates back to the evolution of the Veritas University of Nigeria. His Grace Archbishop Alabajo Emeritus of Ibadan was the president of the conference at the time. I remember he took me there and then was able to show me a vast land, So to the glory of God, we were able to fence that place, sunk the first borehole. Today, if you get to the Veritas University, out of maybe 10 structures there, half of those structures were erected by my companies, So, and we didn't stop at that. We also came to Durumi, that is the Catholic Secretariat. Prior to now, we know that each year, the bishops in Nigeria do come to Abuja for the plenary. And when they come, they have a problem of accommodation. Most of them stay in drag, some stay in various houses of relations, and in various locations from where they have their plenary. But during the period where the late Monsignor Madu was the Secretary General, we conceived the idea to build the resource center, that will accommodate the 70 bishops in one place, to have their plenary and other engagements, and also to serve as a revenue to the Catholic Church. My company was able to put up that edifice. So I can go on and on and on and on. I have a wonderful relationship with the bishops in Nigeria. I have a wonderful relationship with the Catholic Secretariat of Nigeria.
We all are in the state of mourning. My condolences to you as well to myself on the death of Pope Francis. What are the legacies you think that Nigerian leaders need to learn from the pontiff?
A lot. First and foremost, selflessness. Is a selfless leader who had shown sympathy for the poor, for the needy, and never makes any joke about it. And the way he has lived, we were told he even go to work on buses, he walks to work, and so on and so forth. I think I will remember him most vehemently for even at death. Even when he died, his spirit was still working. When you look back, I was there at the burial, you notice the American president coming face to face with the Ukrainian president, sat together, and they were able to strike a deal they never struck. So for me, he's a man that any person should emulate to be, that he worked while he was alive, and even when he was dead, he was still working. He was able to influence them. They had a meeting, and I think last week, they were able to sign the paper they never been able to sign the last 2 months. So he's a great leader.
Okay, the Catholic Television of Nigeria is on GoTV, channel 115 now, and you have been a very, very supportive pillar to Catholic Television of Nigeria. What has been your motivation, and how often should we be expecting such kind of collaboration?
You can walk back in the days before the start of Catholic Television in Wuse. I remember vividly in that room where they were trying to set up the studio. I have been a force behind Catholic Television. I have tried to advertise our products, and I think there is one that is about to start running from May 1st. That's part of our effort to support the Catholic Television and every other thing that the Catholic is involved in. I can say I am an added follower of Catholic Television, and Father Alumoko, who has been the founding father of this very program, is a very good friend of mine, and I can assure you that we will continue to support the Catholic Television until we get it into the DSTV. I don't know, maybe before the end of the year, we should be able to get there, because that's where we belong, so that we can compete very well with other Catholic televisions. Yes.
Thank you very much for coming. We hope when next we invite you, you will oblige us and come and do justice to some of our questions. Thank you very much for your time. Dear viewers, this is where we'll be saying goodbye on today's edition of the program Spotlight on Catholic Television of Nigeria. We've been speaking to the Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of Platinum Mortgage Bank, Chief Engineer Dr. Emmanuel Mbaka. He is a devout Catholic, a banker, also a business leader, and a member of the Knights of St. Molumba, Nigeria. He's been able to do justice to some of our questions on mortgage, national development, and Catholic faith. My name is Tony Abba. This is where we say goodbye for now. Stay tuned to other programs on Catholic Television of Nigeria.